way again.
Okay, let me start re-recording this. Like I said, I'm still trying to go through email and get myself caught back up because I was unbelievably busy the last couple days. And I will not be here Tuesday because I have to take the dang cat to a heart specialist. So, yay! We don't know. It's not normal for a vet to literally say, I don't know what that is on this.
Really?
Yeah. And Dr. Henley's been a vet for a very long time. So I don't know. So all I know is he's peeing on everything still and it's driving me nuts. So it's not like he's doing it on purpose. He can't jump. It's okay. His back legs are all messed up. So, like I said, it's probably a saddle thrombosis, but don't know. So, yesterday was basically giving you a chance to make sure that you did the stuff from Tuesday. Tuesday was surface and groundwater. That was the one that I recorded and left in Canvas. I just sort of pushed everything back a day, which it's okay. Today is opener. Where is the only continent that does not have rivers on it? There's only one that does not have a river system on it. Or is it?
Europe.
No.
Russia.
No. No.
Antarctica.
There we go, Antarctica. It's because everything's frozen, so there's no river systems. I'm hoping all of this animated right. I was trying to get all that done this morning. I still haven't fixed my screen. It's all off on both sides, but it's all right. We've mentioned quite a bit of this. We did the water cycle on Monday. That should have been like easy. I'm pretty sure that one, let's see, Monday would be Tuesday, went through. So that was the one that locked last night. The other one is still open if you've not done it. But approximately 3/4 of our earth is covered in water in some way, shape, or form. Most of that is salt. It is subsurface, which was groundwater. That was from a couple of days ago. It's in the air that we breathe. Some areas have a lot more moisture than others. Things that are alive have water content in them as well. It's normally ignored when we talk about the amount of water's on here. You're going to go and wring somebody's arm and water's going to drip out of their skin. We're going to talk about different types of water features today. And then tomorrow, I'm trying to keep all my stuff straight. Tomorrow then would be stream gradients. And then it still looks like, and then Monday's asynchronous. Tuesday I won't be here. I don't know if I'm just going to push stuff back yet another day or if I'm going to record it. Monday is asynchronous. Right now, the tester, this water unit will be next Friday, not tomorrow, but next Friday. Unless, like I said, I have to sort of be fluid right now because all the weird crap I'm having to deal with. Streams are normally going to be your smaller channeled bodies of water. In order to be a properly flowing stream, it basically has a bed that it flows through. That specifically is called a channel. It is channeled water. And it's going from higher elevation to lower elevation. Water will always find the lowest point. Eventually, that would end up being the ocean. But not all water makes its way back to the oceans themselves. Most streams are going to start at higher elevation where you have a steeper grade or gradient slope. That would be melting ice, melting snow. Not all water originates up in the mountains, but the bulk of it, that's where it's going to start. The beginning of a stream is sometimes called the source. It's sometimes called a headwater. It's where it starts. And then the end of that is going to be called the mouth. And then there's different things that can happen with the body of water. Is it in an arid environment? It's called something specifically. If it's in an environment that has more moisture in it, even though it looks like the same feature, it's called something different. You may not have ever heard of an alluvial fan before. You probably have heard of a delta before. So, and I know for those of you that may have taken aquatics, some of this stuff sort of gets repeated. And you should have had this stuff in 8th grade too. Or whenever, I put two pictures on here. So they don't have to necessarily start with snow melt, but a lot of them, that's where they do begin. All right, smaller things are going to be called brooks and creeks, or if you're from the Northeast like me, you may pronounce it as crick, even though it's not spelled with an I for some reason. I don't even know why we call it that. But when you have multiple streams that come together, the smaller one that gives its water to the larger river system is called a tributary. And I don't know if I put a picture on this one. I don't think I did. And I stapled my papers backwards. I have to fix that. That's going to drive me insane. Let's see. Much better. But when you add all the different bodies of water that feed into a river, that is a river system. Okay, the lands that it's draining, not necessarily completely dry, but where the water is coming from, is going to be what's called a watershed. It's shedding its water. It's flowing somewhere else. And most, well, definitely continents, with the exception of Antarctica, because it doesn't have a river system, have at least one major river system. The major one for our country is the Mississippi. Yes, there are other river systems besides the Mississippi, but that's the big one that drains the bulk of the central part of our country. And so I have a couple different images on here. We'll come back. And I have some others when we do stream gradients, the one that's supposed to be tomorrow. But they feed each other. And one of these is actually a picture of a river system on Mars. Did that today or didn't do that tomorrow? Okay, actually get that tomorrow. I'm not seeing it here. Doesn't help that I did these last week, and then I've been all messed up for the last couple of days. So, with the exception of Antarctica, I can see that easily. They all have at least one major river system. In Africa, that would be the Nile, and it goes through Egypt. Asia, I'm not sure how to pronounce that. Yangtze? Probably not right. I forgot to look that up. It's the Murray in Australia. In Europe, it's the Danube. Where our major system is the Mississippi. Yes, I know there's others. And in South America, it's the Amazon. So the one on the left, this is the Nile. I don't know specifically where on the Nile that is. It's just an image that I took. This is the major river system that is in Asia. The one on the right is the one that's in Australia. And then I had to sort of put these on top of each other. That is the Danube. And then that is the Mississippi. And then the one on the bottom right is the Amazon River. Like I said, there are other river systems besides these. These are the most important ones. That's where people decided to live. Those were our roads for a very, very, very long time until we actually made roads with the Romans. Right, so the longest river is the Nile. Okay, I did not put the length on here. I didn't even look it up. It goes out into and empties into the Mediterranean Sea. The Mediterranean, do I do lakes and seas today? I think I do. There's a difference between a sea and a lake. A sea and a lake are both enclosed. Okay, they're not oceans, but a lake is fresh water and a sea is salt water. The largest in volume is the Amazon. The Amazon actually gives off more water flow than 3 of the other ones that were on the previous slide combined.
Yes, sir. What's the difference between the sea and the ocean?
The oceans are all connected to each other. A sea is like a salty lake. It's like enclosed. I can't remember if there's another one on here. There is. So Like I said, rivers for the longest time, for forever, were our roads. That's how we transported things. That was how we got trade from point A to point B. Obviously, yeah, you can still walk across land, but rivers made it easier to transport things. All you had to do was have a boat. The other word for a drainage basin is a watershed. Like I said, I can't remember where I put everything on these. There's lots and lots and lots of pictures on this. In fact, the notes today really aren't that long because of all of the pictures. This image shows you some of the things that we talked about Monday, and then some of the stuff that I recorded on Tuesday. You've got obviously precipitation on the top. We've got surface runoff, which is the river that goes out towards the ocean. Like I said, it's called a channel. That's the river bed that the stream's going to fall through. You have the accumulation, that's the surface water, and then you have percolation to go down into the water table. And you're going to hit a certain point where the ground is going to be saturated. Its ability to hold onto the water subsurface is going to be determined by how large the pores are in between whatever the rocks and the dirt and all of the things are that are in the ground. And they can go either in from surface to ground or back again, depending on what's going on. This was your question. Lakes are surrounded by land, and so are seas. But the major difference is lakes are freshwater, and then seas are saltwater. Somebody asked me about why they call it the Great Salt Lake if it's a lake and it's not fresh. And I was like, I don't know. But it was a good question. I came out of my 7th period class. I was like, I don't know why they call it that. I don't know if there's salt flats around it. I don't know. I'm not from over there. The word lake does come from Greek. It literally just means the hole in the ground. That's literally what it translates to. The only place, once again, where we don't have these major systems would be Antarctica. I don't know where I have that picture from. That looks like the Danube. That looks like Europe to me. I don't know which picture it was. And I took off the internet and put into my notes. You're going to find the highest percentage of lakes with areas that have had glacial activity. Okay, the largest of all of the lakes are in our country. Those are the Great Lakes. That was when the Wisconsin Maximum decided to retreat at the end of the fourth advancement in the Pleistocene, the ice ages. And we had mammoths, all that good stuff, smilodons. But North America and Northern Europe, that's why there's so many lakes. It's because of the glacial advances. I'm not going to go too far over glaciation. We've done that a couple different times now. But when the ice does pull back, sometimes chunks of ice are left behind. That's what digs the hole. And when the ice melts, that's what gives it its water. They can form from other ways besides glaciers. They don't have to all be glacial carved. The image I have on here should be that Crater Lake. This was a collapsed volcanic mouth. It's not active anymore. I mean, it couldn't become active again, possibly if something happened. But the part that blew up has now filled in with water. And there's a few different crater lakes that are around the world. I've never been to Oregon, but I know it's very, very pretty. I've been to California, briefly. I don't really like California. Alrighty, I'm not going to go too fast. The deepest lake is in Russia. It's just over a mile deep. There are a few others that are rivals to this. It's a rift lake. Okay, so it's basically that the earth has split, almost like an earthquake, if you will. And then that has filled with water. Like I said, not all lakes. This is the actual Russian lake. Lake Baikal. I don't know. I didn't look that one up either. Some of your prettiest lakes, though, are glacially fed. Like Jenny Lake that I've been to. Absolutely gorgeous. It's so weird. I know. Like I brought it and I sent my kid with one. Wow, I'm vaccinated, so
I've never got one.
Hmm.
I've been around people that got before and never got.
well, I mean, I don't know. I've had a few family members that have
I'm just.
contracted it.
Mm-hmm.
You're invincible? Okay. All right, so all of the continents, ours is the one that has the highest percentage of lakes as a whole. The largest of all of the lakes are the Great Lakes. Most of the fresh water that is found on our planet actually comes from our Great Lakes. And you should have learned HOMES before. Okay, it's the acronym to be able to name the 5 Great Lakes. There's the Huron, the Ontario, the Michigan, the Erie, and the Superior. The only one I've been to is Erie because I'm from Pennsylvania. But I always think that they sort of look like a palm tree. I'm not sure which one has the largest amount of water actually stored in it. I did not look that up either. We share our Great Lakes with Canada. I have been to Niagara Falls. I was really little though. There are still people that try to go off the edge of Niagara Falls in frickin' barrels.
Wow.
I don't know. They want to die? I'm really good.
I want to try.
Like,
I had my phone. I'm ready.
You know, like back then, they used to actually take barrels like real in the water. Like, so there'd be a little bit of air off the top. Like, they'd sink something down. So they could do it in the barrel.
that's strange. I don't know. I have no desire to throw myself off of Niagara Falls. It's worth it.
Our funds are not over before.
Have you now?
Mhm.
I don't even want to do that either. I'm too old. All right, so like I said, the difference between a sea and a lake is the salt content. Some of them do eventually open out into the ocean, like the Mediterranean ends up opening out to the Atlantic. That's the Strait of Gibraltar, I think is what that's called, over by, is it Spain? Spain and then Northern Africa. I don't know which country that is though. Like I said, my geography is not the best. So like I said, they're surrounded by land. Okay, seas are saltwater and lakes are freshwater. The Mediterranean is actually one of the saltiest of the seas. We talked about that last week. Let's say it was last week. I don't remember. But its salt content is actually slightly higher than the Atlantic Ocean.
Isn't it like if you go out there, like you'll float?
Mm-hmm. The Dead Sea. I want to say the Dead Sea is the saltiest of all of them. Like it's so salty that stuff doesn't live in it. And it's like almost impossible to sink.
Really?
Yeah.
Where?
I think it's the Dead Sea. Hold on. Let me
It's
fact
so
check.
hard
Let me
to-
fact check myself because I don't like telling you guys things.
How does it get so salty?
People going
It's the,
Doesn't matter.
let's see, how am I gonna,
Like, because these
Salty
dudes
is-
like it's salt all up in the beaches. Like little rocks and stuff.
yes, the Dead Sea is famous for its unusually salty water. No, but it says it's the 5th saltiest on the planet. So what's the saltiest? I don't know. I'm taking this from stuff that I learned when I was your age. So
How does it get so salty?
the actual salt, like salt flats. Salt, the people go and mine it. So
Oh,
it's surrounded by it. I'm not seeing the answer to what I'm trying to tell you. Don Juan Pond in Antarctica. There's no water there. It's just salt. I don't know. I'll have to look that up because I'm not seeing the answer. Your lowest lying lake is the Dead Sea. There are a few other areas that are actually below sea level. Arizona, I can't remember the name of the one in Arizona either. I'm sure this is going to have a lot of giggles in my 7th period. The highest lake is called Lake Titicaca. That's in South America. Uh-oh. Let me get back on the right slide. Oh, I want you to leave. All right, one more. Like I said, today's pretty quick. Tomorrow's is the long one. The string gradients is quite a bit of information. All right, so like I said, not all lakes are natural. We have made some. Okay? If it's a natural body of water, a lot of times we call it an aquifer. When we create them, and a lot of times we have hydroelectric dams. We call them reservoirs if they are man-made. I'm not sure which one that is. I think there's 2 pictures. There's not 2 pictures. There's only one. And I could have gone a little bit more into other names of bodies of water, but I'm not going to. Like I said, tomorrow when I do string gradients, it's going to be quite a bit. But this one, we have 20 minutes. Make sure that, here, let me open up the book. Make sure to double check that you did the one that I recorded. Find the right paper. Like I said, give me a few days to fix the attendance from the last couple of days. I have to wait for the attendance office to put in the information from the sub, and only half of Tuesday is in. It went through 5th period. I don't know why it wasn't done all day. Let me double check. Let me stop the recording here.